So this little area is open all year. The outside rides are just weekends and then for the summer season. But there's a big indoor area there, and they've got some bowling and things like that in there as well. So it's quite a good place to escape the rain in the summer. There's a sand sculpture pavilion. It was King Charles last year for the coronation. Part of Sand World now. And they do all sorts of sand sculptures. Weymouth Sand's very good for building sand castles. It's very fine. They do beach volleyball tournaments here certain times of the year. Traditional seaside donkey rides. They're here weekends and throughout the season. There's a little pathway up and to the left on the beach. Just wander up and down. They do have shade and water in the summer. Well, there's water here now, but there's no shade because it's not that hot. My panning's got worse. I've had to switch back to my phone because my Osmo's ran out of battery again. It's getting quite old. Lots of palm trees along here. Flower beds. This used to be the old fire station, I think. It got sold right recently. It was council owned. It got sold off, and there was a bit of a scandal about it because it wasn't put out to the public. But it's been empty ever since. These shelters are Victorian. They've recently had a refurb as well. The beach carries on all the way round. Then it goes to Preston Beach, and then that building right in the middle of the screen there is the Riviera at Bowley's Cove, and that's where the beach ends and we come to cliffs. There's a lovely cliff walk all along there, but you do need to be very fit. The Riviera used to be a Pontins holiday camp, and it's been empty for quite a few years now. It's been quite neglected, unfortunately. There's a holiday camp there as well, Waterside Holiday Camp, which is one of the better ones in Weymouth. Look at the cliffs from here. I zoom in, I think that is Durdle Door and Loworth Cove over there. Over the road is Marks and Spencer's. There's a food hall there, but there's also a clothes shop, men's and women's and children's clothes. So if you're running short of underwear or anything, that's your place to go for quality underwear. Also being right next to the beach, they've got a good swimwear section as well. So there are fish and chip shops all along the seafront, but they're for the visitors. The locals don't use them. And there's these cafes right on the beach as well. The sun's not in the right place, but there's the King statue. King George III, who made Weymouth a popular holiday destination. So this is the busiest area, usually, not just now. Lifeboat station, etc. So here, down to the pavilion end, is the sands, and then further along it gets a bit more. The shower and toilets here, opened up a few years ago. Changing rooms, parent rooms, unisex toilet. Let's have a look-see. Lovely. I forgot to say about the White Horse. It was carved in 1808 for it's representing King George III on his horse, but he was a bit miffed because he's riding away from Weymouth instead of towards it. A lot of these big old hotels have been turned into apartments now. They're listed buildings, so you can't touch the outsides. This is Rossi's Ice Cream Parlour. Established in 1937, run by the same family. Best ice creams in Weymouth. Natural flavour instead of vanilla, which is very popular. Going up to the Jubilee Clock, Weymouth's famous landmark. The railway station is just down that road. You can get the train to London in 3.5 hours. far as I'm walking along the seafront. But as you can see, it goes on for quite a while. This is where it starts to get pebbly. There's a lovely beach up there. That building on the beach is what's left of the pier bandstand. And then beyond that is Green Hill Beach. And then where you can see the rocks, from there on it's Preston Beach. And then at the very end is Bowley's Cove. If you're a good walker, it's doable in your day trip on a cruise ship. But I'm going to head back now. I've been 2.5 hours so far, walking at a slow pace and stopping for lunch, and I've done 6,000 steps so far. Water bottle filling stations dotted around. Well worth filling up your bottle here. Weymouth water is filtered through chalk cliffs, so it's very pure and very tasty. I've walked back down to the King statue, and I'm going to cross the road here and down St Mary's Street, which is one of the two main shopping streets. This is actually Frederick Place leading into St Thomas Street. I just thought I'd show you this toy shop. It's Howley's Toy Master. It's a really, really good toy shop. So if you're looking for toys for your grandkids, here's where you go. I've doubled back to St Mary's Street, because it is the prettier street. I'm going to switch back to the Osmo. Hopefully the battery's charged a bit more now and I can walk with it. There's lots of touristy shops and cafes and bars and things. It's gone 4 o'clock on a Sunday now, so a lot of things are shut. As with all town centres in the UK and most of the world, I imagine now, they've taken a hit from online shopping and there's a lot of empty shops. Pizzas from there. We've had takeaway in lockdown. They were lovely. They're calzones. Black Dog is one of the oldest pubs in Weymouth. Empty shops. Marks and Spencer's is open till 4:30. It doesn't open till 10:30. On a Sunday, it's open later the rest of the week. Empty shops, cafes. The new restaurant, it seems to get quite good reviews. Charity shops, ATMs, cash points. Again, it's nearly 4 o'clock, gone 4 o'clock on a Sunday, so everything's shut now. There are some lovely buildings through this street. This one is still a bank. The post office in the other street's been turned into a cafe. Or a pub. A little independent shop up there called Rude Not To. It's been around since I was a kid. And down through that way is the other shopping street, and there's a cinema down there. The range, TK Maxx, which is American TJ Maxx, Boots and a few other bits and pieces, which is a pharmacy. Greggs here. I've never actually had a Greggs, but it's apparently an English institution or a British institution. They sell sausage rolls and pasties and things. This is St Albans Street, usually called Flag Street, but they've taken the flags down for some reason or other. They've got lights up at the moment. Hopefully they'll be back soon. It's full of independent little gifty shops and cafes. It's very nice. And the beach and the pavilion is just up the end there, if you can. This is Artisan Island. It's a little shop that rents out shelves to local crafters, so you can buy individual, unusual little gifts in here. And that's my shelf there over at number 18. I make hair accessories. But if you're looking for a unique gift, here's the place to go. St Mary's Church. The street's named after. You can go inside during the day. I think they've shut now. They do a arts and crafts area in there as well. It's another gift shop. Lion Pub, one of my hangouts when I was in my teens. You can drink at 18 here, but back in the 80s, 16 was fine. So back down to the old town hall and registry office. Very impressive looking building. There's a pub just there. And there's toilets just around the corner. In fact, I'll nip round that way because I'll show you the can. This building was restored about 10 years ago. It was virtually completed and it burnt down. So they're going to restore it again. Public toilets. We're right next to the harbour again now. There's the ship in. These toilets. And just up there is a cannonball from the English Civil War. Up to the town bridge. Still sunny around the harbour this time of day. I would recommend that you go back up to the pavilion end and take the rowboat over to save you a bit of mileage on the way back. There's the old bus. There's the bus. Bridge lifting times, I missed that on the way over. Benches outside the fish and chip shop. It's quite narrow here, and in the summer especially it's extremely crowded up and down here, so you've got people banging into your knees knocking your fish and chips. So I'd recommend going further down where we ate ours, just by that boat there. And all the benches there, apart from two people who are just getting up anyway, all empty. But cruises from here, and you can get a boat back to Portland if you want to. So if you didn't fancy catching the bus back to the ferry port, this isn't too far away. It goes to Portland Marina and your ship is here somewhere. Some information on King George. Not quite sure how long these take, but I'd imagine not too long, half an hour or so, over to Portland. We're back to the old rooms and the new rooms in Wallace and Gromit, and this is Hope Square. Public toilets on the right. So there's been breweries in Weymouth for 700 years. It was Devonish from the 1960s to the 1980s. And before that it was Groves. Let's say there's been some kind of brewery here for hundreds of years. It's being refurbished at the moment. There's been lying dormant for a good 15 years. So looking forward to seeing that looking a bit better. There's some cafes and things here. I had a breakfast here last year. It was very nice. There's a pub just there. The Red Lion. Very busy here in the summer. And I put lights in the trees in the evening. It looks lovely. This building was built in 1903. There's lots of other brewery buildings around and about. They've been converted. Oh, forgot to say, that particular stretch of harbour is where the bubonic plague landed in the 1200s. Our Weymouth claim to fame. So there's the Groves symbol up there from when it was Groves Brewery from the turn of the century to the 1960s. And if you go that steep step there, steep slope, you'll be back at Newton's Cove. That's the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries building there. There's a nice tall tower from the brewery. Used to stink the town out when they were brewing. I remember that. This is the way most of the cruise passengers start their walk, but we're ending it this way. So there's Hope Square down through there, and that's where we started. This is your cruise bus pickup point. That's where we started our journey. So we're back at your pickup point. I've done 9,000, well, it's about 8,000 steps altogether since I started this walk. And it's taken 3 hours and 10 minutes with a stop for lunch. Hope you enjoy the rest of your cruise. Bye!